Okay, Sam Sentient Sessions Court back in session. I have a message for you. Are you ready for it? I'm going to sit like this because what cards do I feel like pulling first? I feel like I have not touched my chakra wisdom oracle deck in a little bit. So I'm gonna touch it right now. And something that I'm thinking about automatically is like I had learned the other day that my family be like stalking me online, and that's how I feel. I don't know, it just came to mind when I pulled this up. Like, and it's crazy because it was like confirmation, because I had a feeling that they had found my TikTok account, but my family be watching my TikTok account and talking shit about it. That's crazy. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I feel like by putting myself out there, I understand that I'm open for judgment. Like, feel however you feel about me. Deadass. Feel however you feel about me. Think whatever you think about me. It don't affect me because I know me. I allow myself to be perceived. I feel like art is meant to be interpreted. What I do is an art. If you have a problem with my readings, if you have a problem with my readings, if you have a problem with my mysticism, if you have a problem with me being who I am, it has nothing to do with me. Really. We all align to whatever we want to align to. Everyone has the freedom, the free will to do and feel however they want to feel about whatever. So how anybody feels about me don't matter. I don't care. Like, how do you feel about yourself? That's the thing you really need to sit with. How do you feel about yourself? Do you like yourself? Do you feel good about yourself? Are you happy with yourself? Do you feel like you are where you want to be in life? Do you feel like you're doing what you want to do? Do you feel good about yourself? So if you do not feel good about yourself, and you can go on my social media and stalk me and talk shit about me, what the fuck does it matter to me? Dead ass. I feel like there was a point in my life, all the cards dropped. I feel like there was a point in my life where shit like that used to bother me, but at this point, I'm like, that shit, you know what cards it dropped on? The card on top is the gossip card. Yeah, because it's like, what the fuck does it matter? Like, who are you to my life? You know, I don't worry about how people who do nothing for my life feel about me. You don't make my life better, so you're not allowed to make my life worse. You don't make me feel no way, because I feel what I want to feel, because this is my life. This is my vessel. Nobody can make me feel things I don't want to feel. And if I feel anything, it always has something to do with me. So I look at myself and I ask myself, am I happy with myself? Sometimes I'm not happy with myself. Sometimes I'm really not happy with myself. And I would rather sit there and take accountability about not being happy about myself than project that shit onto other people, because we do that. We project our shit. We'll be sitting there judging ourselves from kingdom come, and then we find somebody to start judging. We know nobody. That's the truth. We don't be knowing nobody. So shit like that just don't bother me. It does not bother me. I am not bothered by shit like that. That's how I feel. People talking shit about me, people not liking me, people not like respecting my shit doesn't make me feel no way. It's out of my control. It's out of my control. It's always been out of my control. So, okay. So, let's pull these cards. I feel like it's not that I'm upset. It's just that I'm like, really think about it. You pulled me up on your phone and you sit there and you talk shit about what I do. That shit crazy. Why would you do that? How much time do you have on your hands to do that? You got nothing to do? That's crazy. Wow. So, leadership skills need work. Going broke. You lying to yourself. If you hold on, you'll cause resistance. A pleasant surprise. You scare them came out again. Self-forgiveness is key right now. This work related. A couple cards came out from the last reading. I think my energy kind of changed on this reading. I don't know. It's not that I'm upset. I don't feel pity either. Because the way I think about things is people be knowing how they get themselves in that energy. And it's like everyone has the opportunity to change the energy that they're in. But I feel like people have this tendency to feel okay with gossip because they don't feel like people be knowing. But I'm an intuitive. So I always know how someone really feels about me. It's not something that like is a secret to me. I be knowing. I be seeing it. And it's kind of just crazy. Journal about it. I feel like it's just kind of fucked up that it was like confirmation by the time that I heard about it. It was confirmation. I already knew that this is something that they do. I already knew that this is something that they like partook in. I had a feeling. But it's like, listen, if people feel like you're more satisfied or more brave enough or freer enough to pursue and live a life that you enjoy, they kind of just project that. Of course, if you are 727 on the clock, I've been seeing that number a lot, and that kind of goes back to a pleasant surprise, something good. But if people feel dissatisfied with their life, a lot of people don't think, hey, let me try to find ways to make my life better. Sometimes people just look for other people to make miserable, or they would love to see you be miserable. There's people who would love to see your downfall. There's people who would love to see you fucking have a shitty day. There's people who would love to hear something fucking terrible happen to you. There's people who would love to see you fall because they don't feel content and they don't feel good about themselves. There's people who don't feel good about themselves and would love for you to fuck everything you got going on up just so they feel more comfortable. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. I don't ever be surprised. Nothing be surprising. Nothing be surprising. I be knowing. Healing. Eat better. New idea formed, seed planted. Sagittarius. Like a Sagittarius. I'm like, bro. Open to receive. You know what I'll be thinking about too? When it comes back to like my family, and I'm gonna be very expressive about all this. When it comes to my family, I've done nothing my whole life but try to be good to them, even as an adult, and even as an adult with them still being assholes and me healing from things. I have come back and I've tried to tell them what I've learned. I've come back and even with all the things my family has done to me as a child, I still want to see them do well. I want them to heal. But like they don't have the same desire for themselves, so I let the shit go. I let the shit go. People can call it whatever they want. Call it selfishness. It is what it is. I can list off a bunch of situations where I thought they were being very selfish. And yet, because I don't want to enable their bad behavior, I'm the problem. Because I don't want to enable their bad behavior and I choose to live a life that makes me happy, they would actively wish for me to fail. One thing I remember with my sister is I had gotten a job and I had left the house because she had messaged me threatening to punch me in my face. And I just walked away. I was like, whatever, I don't give a fuck. Like, I literally cannot do this. Walked away. She started talking about how she was gonna call the job up and get me fired. That's some sick shit, right? I think that shit is sick. And even after that, I tried to make it work with them. I'm not a person who lets people do fucked up shit to me no more. Because the more I forgave them, the more they thought they could keep doing to me. I forgive myself. And that's where I go, self-forgiveness is key. Sometimes you have to forgive yourself and make amends with yourself by moving forward. I learned my lesson. I don't need to keep learning the same lesson. If I'm ever in a position where I find myself being hurt, I protect myself because nobody owes it to me to protect me. I grew up in a life that did not protect me. In fact, they hurt me the most. So forgiveness has really come from doing me. You know what I could have been? You know what I could have been if I didn't work on myself? I could have been sitting there continuously fighting and going back and forth with them. I would never do that. That's not a fun life. That's not a fun life. That's a miserable life. For me to sit there and feed into the misery and be miserable myself. Make choices to make other people happy who would never make me happy. Make choices with other people in mind so that they feel a way about me, but I don't feel good about me. Because I don't like the life that I'm creating for me. I would rather be the bad guy. That's how I feel about everything. I would rather be the villain. I would rather you sit there, I would rather you sit there, pull me up on TikTok and laugh. Because you can never do that. You can never be this bold. You can never speak your mind like I do. You can never feel okay enough with yourself to present yourself because you know the things that you do. You know the person you are. I can't control that. You know the person you are. You know the person you are. You have to go to sleep every night with your actions. And they might not ever hit you. They might not ever hit you. That's something I had to learn to be okay with when it comes to people. When it comes to people, I had to learn that sometimes people will never learn from their actions. They will never understand how they hurt you. They will never understand why you feel the way that you feel. They will never understand. So why sit there and try to explain it? Why sit there and try to explain your feelings when every time you do, you get the same response? You might as well just do something new. You can beg people. You can continuously forgive people. You can continuously try to make things work with people. But if you keep seeing the same pattern, eventually it has to sink in that nothing is going to change until you change. Why be miserable when I can be happy? And if me being happy looks weird to you, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. If me being happy is opening me up to your judgment, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't do shit like that. I don't do shit like that, so it doesn't matter to me. Time for redirection. It's crazy because it's like, I feel like I used to always, I don't know, it's not even that I'm like the bigger person. I don't think I'm the bigger person. I don't necessarily think I'm a good person. I don't want to be perceived as that. And that's something I said in 2022 while I was still living in my mom's house. And 2 years later, I feel the same way. I don't want to be perceived as a good person. I make actions that make me feel good. And sometimes they make other people feel good. And I don't want to make nobody feel bad, but if you want me to feel bad at your expense, then you can go to hell. That's how I be feeling. Then you can go to hell. Get more sleep. And that's freedom. I allow myself to feel, think, do whatever I want to do. I feel whatever I want to feel. Nobody controls how I feel, and I don't expect nobody to be responsible for how I feel either. If you make me feel a way, I'm handling it. I have mad feelings. I'm a very emotional person. But if I don't feel safe with you emotionally, then I'm not going to you emotionally. Then I'm not asking you to make me feel better. You're not going to do it. You can't. I make me feel better. I figure out how I want to feel. And then I move forward. Cancer, work towards goals. And then we have a Sagittarius card. No, that's not Sagittarius. I'm bugging. Please. That's Aries. Two of Wands. Then we got the Six of Wands. And then we have the Two of Cups reversed again. Yo, I don't know. Sometimes it's like, do these readings be connected? Okay. Leadership skills need work. Going broke. You lying to yourself. If you hold on, you cause resistance. Sagittarius. A pleasant surprise. Open to receive. You scare them. Two of Wands. And the thing I realize with people is, I feel like people would try to shame me about talking because they so scared of what I could say about them. They so scared of the stories that I could tell about them. They so scared of me exposing them. So of course you're watching my social media. Of course you're on my social media heavy because you're scared that I will expose you. You're scared of that exposure that I give myself. You're scared that I can reveal it all. It is what it is. Like, the way I be feeling is that I don't keep my stories to myself because of a sense of wanting to be good to you, be loyal to you. It's because it hasn't come up for me to share. I don't be wanting to share it because I don't really have a reason to until I want to. That's how I feel about life. I say what I want to say when I want to say it. When I want to say something, I will say it. If I don't want to say something, I won't. It is what it is. So I'm probably not going to say nothing until I want to. But maybe I don't want to since I know you watching. What does it matter? Like, So you could what? Finally have a reason for why you've been stalking me? Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, when I say something, I'll say something. When I don't, I don't. I don't give a shit. Like, I be talking at whim. I'm not protecting nobody. I protect nobody but myself, really. And if that, I will burn myself. I will burn a bridge with me on it just to make a point. And I'm learning that because that's toxic. It's not healthy. I'm allowing my messiness to messy, you know? But leadership skills need work. If you hold on, you cause resistance. Sagittarius, going broke, a pleasant surprise, open to receive, you lying to yourself, you scare them. Two of Wands. I feel like even with me reading, because I got real personal, but even with me reading like these cards, they don't really give too much. Like, it doesn't, I feel like I said enough. Like, you can choose, you can, like, listen, this is exactly what I'm going to tell you. You can choose to continue to worry about how people who aren't good to you think about you, or you can choose to make yourself happy. Our egos really be the end of us. We be thinking that we have to protect ourselves from judgment like everybody else is, and then we hold ourselves back, and then we come to a point where we look at our lives and we realize we lived our life for nobody, but we didn't even live our life for ourselves. We lived our lives for the image of who we want to be seen as. And then you realize you've been spreading yourself thin for years trying to please everybody. How you gonna please people who can't even please themselves? Really? How you gonna please people who can't please themselves? How do you make somebody happy who don't know how to make themselves happy? How do you really love on somebody who don't know how to love themselves? That energy opens up, like, what you do for yourself opens up your life. The more you choose to give to yourself, the more you live a life that you don't have to, the more you live a life that isn't full of resistance, because now you're aligning to choices that are yeses, instant yeses. I don't wake up every day worried about how this and this and this and this and this is going to happen, because I've made enough choices that are instant yeses that my life is not complicated. I don't spread myself thin. Like, I have a life that I say yes to, because I said yes to myself enough times to have that life. Like, opportunities come in, I say yes because they be coming from people that I already said yes to, because I said yes to myself. I said yes to myself, so I met people who I can say yes to, because I am who I am and they are who they are, and we fuck with each other because we not doing nothing out of a facade. So when they ask me for things or ask me to do things, I say yes because we already aligned. We cause resistance with all the shit that we do to spread ourselves thin. Like, you could be living your life trying to impress somebody or trying to prove yourself to somebody or try to prove you the one in the right and you the one in the wrong to somebody, and completely miss out on mad other shit because you needed to prove yourself to one person or prove yourself to two people. You had to continuously prove yourself to a person that you ended up becoming exactly what they wanted from you. Fuck no. Fuck no. When people are whole and when people are complete, people don't require you to change yourself for them. People don't require you to be anything but you. But you have to allow yourself to be you. You have to wake up every day and say yes to you first. Then you know what to say yes to. Then you know how to maneuver shit. You can sit there and you can try to keep the facade on for some shit and fuck yourself up, fuck yourself over completely. All because you needed to prove yourself to somebody. Now you work in a job you can't stand. Now, like, okay, let me tell you, like, sometimes, okay, one thing that I'm going to point out is that sometimes, because we're so scared of how people are gonna feel when we make a new choice, we will dead ass live a life. Like, let's say your family is anti-divorce. So when you feel like you want to end it with your partner, you can't, because now you're going to be looked at as the lonely single woman, because that shit is frowned upon in your family. But you look back a couple years later and you hate your life. You hate it. You hate the person you're with every day. You hate them. Like, you hate them, they hate you. You hate your life. Like, that shit isn't a life to live. You did all that because you gave a fuck about people's perception of you. When you could just up and leave the moment you feel like upping and leaving. Because fuck everybody's perception. Nobody's living your life for you. You live your life. I feel like that's one of the most ridiculous concepts that we've been taught, is to continuously try to live according to other people's standards. There was a point where the standard was to shut the fuck up and pick your fucking cotton. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would I give a fuck about anything this society has to say about me existing? Why would I care? Why would I give a shit? This society, everything is wrong. So sometimes in our family units, everything is wrong. Sometimes in our friend groups, everything is wrong, because we all have these really fucked up perceptions of the world that we keep each other under control with. So when people are miserable because they feel burdened by the perception of the world, they feel burdened by everyone's opinions, and they feel burdened by how they're going to be seen. When they're miserable like that, they want you to feel that same fear of how people feel about you. Who cares? I need people to ask themselves how they feel about themselves, really. Why should I care why should I care what you think about me when you don't even think about you? Come on now. You spend all your mental space thinking about what other people think about you. You don't think about you for real. You don't sit there and think about you. You don't sit there and be like, you don't sit there and think about you. You don't. You think about how you want to be seen. What does it matter? What does it matter? None of it matters. Self-forgiveness is key right now. Time for redirection. This work related. Get more sleep. Journal about it. 6 of Wands reversed. Yeah. It's like people be competitive. People be competitive and comparing. People will have you in a competition you don't even know you fucking in. Like, people will be competing with you about life. Life is messy. Life isn't pretty. Life takes work. Who cares? People will be in a competition you don't know nothing about. People will be in secret competition with you and be losing. Why are you competing? Who are we competing in front of? Who's the judge? Who's the jury? What's going on? Like, what is the competition? I, me, you. My mind has always kind of worked like that. Even when I used to compare real bad. I used to compare, and I still find myself comparing myself. Like, oh, I'm not doing enough. But I understand that energy is coming from me. When I feel like I'm not doing enough is because I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing something I want to be doing. It has nothing to do with nobody else. I don't ever think in my mind, I'm not doing enough. That person's doing more to me. Wow, I need to see that person fail to feel better about myself. Why would you fucking think like that? What is wrong? Like, what? That doesn't even sound right. That does not even sound right. That doesn't sound okay. And I understand society kind of enables that behavior. It makes it okay. Society benefits from us competing with each other because now we want the biggest house. We want the best car. So we willing to do whatever the fuck just to obtain shit that make us look good to other people. To people who sit in their homes and have their own problems. Nobody's life is perfect. Nobody's perfect. Everyone feels like they're failing sometimes. Everyone feels bad about themselves. What do you choose to do with that? When you feel bad about yourself, what do you choose to do with that? How do you choose to maneuver that? It's out of everyone's control, only yours. Self-forgiveness is key. Time for redirection, get more sleep. Journal about it. This work related. And then we got work towards goals underneath and new idea form seed planted. You don't really work towards your goals when you give a fuck how you, in order for you to create something you like for yourself, you have to fail. You have to fail. You have to let other people see you failing. It is what it is. You know how many times I've fallen on my ass in front of other people? My first pop-up shop for my jewelry business, bro. My first pop-up shop, my ass was literally out. I did my first pop-up shop. I got up and my pants split down the middle and my ass was out, exposed. I was literally assed out. I was assed out. And I sold nothing that day. And I just continued making jewelry from then on. Like, life put me in a position for me to start doing that. And I just continued doing it. Even when I failed mad times. There was a point I wanted to test out some, I want to take pictures for promo for my waist beads. My waist beads, all of them popped. All the waist beads popped on everybody. And that shit made me want to stop. And I ended up making earrings. You got to keep going. You have to fail. If you don't fail, you don't ever like change. Mistakes are supposed to happen. So healing, cancer, eat better, work towards goals, new idea form, seed planted, and then we got the Two of Cups in reverse. Yeah, these just not giving. They not giving, but listen, they not giving because the way my mind works, like, I benefit more from when people are doing better. I don't know. I feel like I benefit more when people are healing than when people are failing. And I can't align to or fuck with somebody who thinks that other people failing makes them better, makes them feel good. Like, if you're dependent on that shit, then I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. I don't know what to tell you. Family, blood, sweat, tears, I don't give a fuck. Like, family, if you're bad-spirited, bad-minded, I can't deal. Like, even from everything that's happened, how I feel, I don't be wanting to see nobody fall apart, really. I don't. Even when I'm angry and I can think about it in a moment, I don't actually want to see it. I really don't. I don't actually want to see people fall apart. I don't think I've ever gotten that mad. Have I? Now I have to be real with myself. Like, there's people who I really do be mad at. Like, there's people who I really be mad at. But you have to really do some shit for me to actually be mad. Like, for me to be really mad at that shit, Like, listen, I'm not a good person. I'm not a good person. There's been times where I've been mad, but I don't know. I still think about it, and like, even the person that has done me the dirtiest, I don't want to witness it. Like, I don't want to put myself in position to make you fail. You're going to do that yourself. What is it to me? For me, I don't even want to watch or hear about you failing. You going to do that yourself. If life, you got to forgive yourself. Like, because if you don't forgive yourself, what you're going to do is you're going to keep thinking you forgiving somebody else, but you end up resenting them. You keep resenting them. You're just resenting them. I don't got time to be sitting around resenting nobody. Even when me talking like this and talking more like emotionally, like, I don't be sitting there resenting nobody. I don't care after a while. Like, if the energy come up, then I have to express it. But for real, like, people don't stop my life. That's how I live. People do not stop my life. People can't stop my life. The only time I stop my life is if I stop my life. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Very talented, manifesting you. So that is Sam Sentient Sessions. Session adjourns. Please come back.